Good evening and welcome to Stupid O'Clock News. I'm Louis Lee. Doggy poo in the White House? Well, one of President Joe Biden's dogs apparently deposited a pile of poo in the hallway outside the diplomatic reception room just off the South Lawn on Wednesday. Reporters accompanying Jill Biden on a trip to California spotted the brown stuff on the red carpeted hallway as they were waiting just inside the mansion to be escorted to the First Lady's motorcade. It was unclear which pooch, Major or Champ, dropped the poo. What happened Wednesday wasn't the first known instance of dog poop inside the White House, given the long history of presidential dog ownership. In fact, President Barack Obama's dog, Sonny, liked to sneak off and poop in the mansion, his wife, Michelle, once said. But typically, there's much more bullshit in the White House than dog poop anyway. That's the news. Let's start the show.
Yep, that was ready. That needed that one. And we'll go ahead and start bringing everybody up. There's John. There's Dan.
Oh, you got rid of the Hindenburger.
Yeah. And we've got a little programming note tonight. We won't be doing the after show because we've got a 8 a.m. doctor's appointment in the morning. So
last week, my brother sprained his back. He was doing something, went to pick something up underneath his car, and went to stand up, strained all the muscles down his back. He has a history of that.
John, you're sounding a little muffled.
Really?
Is there something covering your microphone?
No.
That's fine now.
And okay, yeah.
I think my internet's being a little flaky for some reason.
It could be it. Because it did sound a little like a phasing, so yeah.
We might actually have a sunspot.
Yeah.
So he got in bed Monday night and could not move Tuesday morning. Any little twist would cause a muscle spasm, and he just couldn't move. I spent the day with him trying to get him out of bed first, and then we got him some medicine. He just laid there for a while, seeing if it'd get any better. Finally, we managed to get him out of bed yesterday afternoon and got him to the emergency room, and they did all the steroids and Valium. So he's up walking around. He's still hurting, but he's up and walking around now. So basically for the last 4 days, I had gotten about 8 hours sleep. So he didn't need me today, so I slept all day.
Well, I know how he feels. I know what he's going through, and I wouldn't trade places at all. He's a hurting.
And the worst part is he has cats. He'd be laying there in bed, and the cats would jump on him.
Oh.
Yeah, and so.
Yeah.
Could be worse. You could have had a golden.
And speaking of which, he has kittens. Anybody wants a kitten? Let me know.
No.
No takers? Really? No.
We just had another feral come up from the woods. So
that's how he got these. There's what happened. My computer was trying to update for Alexa,
Okay. Oh, and
There we go.
our cat scared the snot out of me the other night. She grabbed something in the floor and went to claw. Her claws are coal black. They're not the clear keratin. Her claws are black. There is no white on this cat.
Okay.
I mean,
Scared you how?
because the whole time she was attacking that roll of paper towels on the floor, she was looking at me like this is going to be you.
Well, stop treading on them. Ah,
Oh, guys, we're trying to think of some place not too far. We'll just say east of the Mississippi to go for a week or so. Preferably someplace we've never been, which is going to be hard east of the Mississippi. But right now, Hawaii is kind of out of the question because, what I want
with or without a camper.
Without, because we still have to find a place that will fix it. This guy called me up day before yesterday and said, come pick it up. I'm like, okay. He says, I'm going to put it back together. Just come pick it up. Okay. He didn't actually say, I don't want to do business with you. And I didn't have to say, I don't trust you and don't want to do business with you. We just, I paid him $500.
Any of these broadcasts?
Well, I paid him $550 cash. I got a receipt. And so I drove it out of there and put it back in my storage lot. It's watertight for now, but
You hope.
it's still, well, yeah, but I looked and it looked pretty. He actually did a better job than I thought he would have. But it looks like it'll hold up for a few months until I can get somebody reputable to do the job.
Have you been looking around, or is there anything around here? Or?
Yeah, it's. I mean, there's nobody around that does it right now. And as popular as RVs are, I can't believe that there aren't more places that specialize in RV bodywork and upgrades.
What about that big place right there in East Ridge? I mean,
the one behind the old
Camping World.
Yeah,
Camping World has a bad reputation.
Where we used to have LibertyCon.
Yeah.
You can see it across the parking lot.
Yeah.
Camping World has a pretty bad reputation. You can ask Joe.
Yeah,
They're overpriced. They're hard sell, and their turnaround time is glacial.
What about this place down here in Ringgold, right across from where you park your truck?
Well, I am going to contact them next. I'm going to contact them tomorrow. I know that they do a lot of pull behind. I don't know if they do motorhomes. See, they only sell pull behinds. They don't sell motorhomes. So I don't know if they even work on motorhomes. But yeah, I'm going to call them and find out. I think it's Dayton or Dunlap family RV.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Oh.
Yeah, well, I'm just sorry that Lewis is having so much trouble with this.
Let me see.
Yeah, me too. Because I really miss being able to just throw the dog and the wife in the RV, and it's already loaded down. All we got to do is hit the road, because I even keep full of gas.
Yeah,
because it makes the ultimate bug out vehicle.
Yeah, really. Yeah. Just keep everything ready to go, and
well, it's always stocked with food, fresh linens. We've got our favorite travel clothes in the wardrobes. It is literally always ready to go at a moment's notice. If we just had to, we could just jump in. It's got my medicines and it's totally set for a trip at all times. So, and I just missed that.
Let's see, Happy Island. Of course, that whole area is kind of nice.
Yeah. We were thinking about maybe going down to Savannah because I have not been to Savannah yet.
That's a good one up there.
You would love it.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of neat little touristy things down in Savannah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'd want to go. I'd want to go to that cemetery where the little statue is from Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil.
They moved that statue.
What?
Yeah, apparently it was getting vandalized, because of that movie.
Oh, you're kidding me?
No.
Crap.
But I might be wrong.
You just can't have nice things.
You can't have nice. They may have put it back. I don't know. But I remember thinking
maybe they put a replica back.
Possibly. But have you ever been to Jim Morrison's grave?
No.
In France?
Yeah. In Paris?
Yeah.
Well, I've been to Paris twice, so.
Yeah. A lot of people do. That's one of those things. A lot of Americans, when they go to Paris, will go see Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
But all those idiots that have trashed that place, they eventually had to block it off. Nobody can get to it.
Yeah.
Unless you're in his family or something.
Well, I mean, have you ever been to Graceland? The wall in front of Graceland is just covered with graffiti, and it's not nasty stuff. It's just people wanting to leave their mark. Same thing happened with the gate to Strawberry Field.
Yeah.
The orphanage in Liverpool. Same thing. The gate is just full of graffiti from people leaving their remembrances, their mark.
That
Marking
crosswalk.
their territory.
That crosswalk.
Oh yeah, the crosswalk. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you go out there, that crosswalk at Abbey Road, it's all
what?
it's all just graffitied up.
Really?
I keep hearing me.
Yeah, I'm hearing that.
You've got an echo now. I think your internet's really.
I just checked. The echo cancellation is on.
Wonder if Alexa messed mine up.
You may, check your audio setting and see if you got echo cancellation on.
I usually do. I have to for gaming.
Well, it's all right now.
Yeah. Well, it might not be to him. He would be hearing the echo.
Well,
well,
all I can say is maybe my internet bought your internet.
yeah. Well, you're talking about the vandalizing when that movie Now You See Me or whatever about the magicians. Magicians. After that movie, people found out about that bridge in Paris where everybody puts locks on everything.
I've been on that bridge. I bought a bunch of little Eiffel Towers from a vendor on that bridge.
Yeah. After that, people started doing that to the Walnut Street Bridge.
Oh.
And before they knew what happened, the west side of the bridge was covered in locks. And the city had to go out there and cut them all off because that many locks changes the weight rating of the bridge.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And if you've ever seen the footage of the bridge in, I believe it was Washington State from back in the 60s.
Galloping.
Yeah, they showed us that one in school.
That was in the late 40s or early 50s.
Late 30s.
It was late 30s.
That was just wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it was also a poorly designed bridge.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've learned a lot.
Design is a good design until they put it someplace where it is not a good design.
Yeah.
And then they learn to redesign it.
Yeah.
That
kind of bridge there.
Yeah, the replacement bridge for it now. See, that one the bridge was completely boxed in. Now the wind just blows through the bridge.
Yeah.
Now the battleship was the top ship on the ocean till Pearl Harbor, and
yeah. Sorry about that, Carl.
I've got a friend who's afraid to drive over bridges.
Yeah.
And another one who won't get in an elevator.
Okay. Let me ask just one question.
Hmm.
Your friend that's afraid to drive over bridges, does he live in New Orleans?
No.
Okay. You can't live in
She
New
lives
Orleans.
in Baton Rouge. Yeah.
Oh, that's almost bad.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, because she will drive, but it is a high anxiety event.
The one that spooks me is in Hampton, Virginia, where you go out to the middle.
Oh, the bridge tunnel.
Yeah, the bridge tunnel.
Yeah, I've driven. I've traversed that a few times because I was stationed in Norfolk, but I like to visit DC on the weekends, and so that's the quickest way.
Yeah.
Yep, Lindsay's oldest daughter.
Yeah, it's the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel.
Yep.
And what's really weird about that is my brother was stationed there at Norfolk, and he's got a picture of the Enterprise going over that.
Oh, wow.
And it kind of looks like, that little island where the cars disappear.
Yeah.
That little island where the cars disappear. It looks like they're disappearing into the side of the Enterprise.
Oh, cool.
Oh. I misunderstood which Enterprise you were talking about there for a second.
Hey, did anybody see the meme where they compared the size of the Ever Given to the Enterprise, the original?
Yeah,
I put it on Stupid O'Clock.
1701. Oh, you did that. Okay.
Yeah.
That was eye opening.
Yeah.
That is one big ship.
Somebody needs to put a comparison of that to the aircraft carrier Enterprise.
Yeah.
Because,
Well, I keep telling, Carl and Donna were talking about her fear of bridges. I said, well, you need to go check out that bridge in Jacksonville. The one that the aircraft carriers go under.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a big loop.
And the sky. Do they call it the Skyway Bridge or something in Tampa, over Tampa Bay? Oh, I hate driving over that one. Oh, dear Lord. I'm not afraid of bridges, but that one, it's a little shaky.
Yes, Carly. Do not go over that bridge. There's one in New Orleans that just
the 610 high rise.
Is that it? It just cuts straight across. I'm going.
Well, it goes over the Industrial Canal, and down the Industrial Canal are shipyards. So they build big container ships and all kinds of ships, and they can get pretty tall. So they had to make sure that they had a bridge that was going to be high enough to go over it, and they couldn't make it a drawbridge. They had drawbridges on there before, and it was never a workable situation. So they just said, design the bridge to where it's high enough that the biggest ship that you can possibly imagine can go under it. And they did. And I mean, when you get on that bridge, it looks like you're going up a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And when you top that bridge, you do not see the road in front of you. When you top it, your feet tingle, and then you start to go down, and okay. When you see the road again, you can breathe again, and your feet quit tingling. But man,
I get that way about the Smoky Mountains. You get up. Oh, where'd the road go? This is limestone. Where'd it go?
Yeah.
Okay, there it is. Now, where's low gear?
Yeah, because you don't want brake fade either. I learned about brake fade when I first got to town. I was driving a van. I was driving a heavy, TV van, and I was coming down Chilhowie Mountain. And by the time I got to the bottom and then got back on 64 highway, I didn't have any brakes anymore. And luckily, the reporter partner that I had, he knew what was going on. He says, it's called brake fade. Your brakes got hot, and now they're going to have to cool off. So just go into low gear and try not to get behind anybody until, just keep tapping the brakes now and then to see when you get them back.
Yeah,
and I'm like, and this is a common thing here?
That's one reason why Lindsay and I had to change our route to to Knoxville to go to family reunions because the van does not lock into low gear. You have to hold the gear shift and try and steer with the other hand.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that on a road in the Smoky Mountains. That is not a fun activity.
No, Smoky Mountains is best at 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock deal.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's best on a motorcycle where you got everything right there, and it's a death grip anyway because you're doing 60 inside of a.
Except on the Devil's Tail or the Dragon's Tail. I mean. Oh,
the Snake.
Well, on the Smokies, isn't it called the Dragon's Tail?
Yeah,
I don't know. I-40 from North and South Carolina.
No, it's not the interstate. There's a U.S. highway that winds through there that motorcyclists like to challenge themselves on. And there have been a lot of deaths.
111 turns in 2.5 miles.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. That would be a challenge, all right.
Yep.
One thing, you remember when I had that Apache camper, Lewis, my sister, I would run a CB when we would go to Outside Con, which is just outside Nashville, and we come back. Well, we'd come back going over Mont Eagle Mountain. I would drop off the mountain and never hit my brakes. I'd yank her to low. And I was actually having to hit the gas to maintain the speed limit.
Wow. You see, I used to have to do that with the satellite truck, Channel 12 sat truck, when I was coming back from someplace and I was having to come down Mont Eagle. I would have to go, to like second or third gear. It was a 6-speed forward. Yeah. And I would have to go to second or third gear to come down, but then it would overtack. It would tack 6,000-7,000 RPMs. And I'm like, this old Mac ain't going to take it. So I would have to tap the brake even in second or third gear just to keep it from overtacking and burning up the engine. And
it was a Mac truck.
Yeah.
It didn't have a
Mac chassis. What?
It didn't have a Jacobs brake?
No.
I have wondered.
It had air brakes.
There's a sign on the county seat where it is illegal to do Jake braking.
Right.
Going into town.
Yeah.
And I have wondered what is that?
Okay. What a Jacobs brake is, it's built into the engine and it causes a vacuum in certain cylinders on your engine. So that your engine can only go so fast, and which in turn slows your vehicle down. And it's
very loud.
Yeah,
okay. Now
when it happens, you hear the truck going to be driving along, and all of a sudden the Jacobs brake will get off the accelerator. The Jacobs brake will kick in, and you hear this.
Yep, I've heard that before.
That's the Jacobs brake.
Okay. And it's got multiple settings, so you can shut off like a quarter of your engine or half of your engine, like high and low settings.
I have wondered. Thank you. Yeah. Now I am enlightened.
But it has nothing to. Strangely enough, it has nothing to do with the brakes on the truck, which is why it works so well.
Well,
Carly says, makes a note, don't ride with Jodo. Actually, Carly, you would enjoy riding with me because when I downshift, I let the engine do all the work.
You would enjoy riding with him until he stopped at Taco Bell.
Yeah. But
then you want to ride in the Apache camper.
Yeah. Well, I have a CB, and these as I come down the hill, I'd have a trucker follow me all the way, and I'd hear him go, "Hey, you don't have any brake lights on that camper." I said, "Hold on a minute." I'd reach over, tap brakes. He goes, "Holy shit, you came all the way down with no brakes." And he goes, "You drive for a living, don't you?" I said, "Yeah."
And no, Carl, it's not like an air brake.
No, air brakes are just pneumatic brakes. They run on air cylinders, and there's an air compressor involved.
Oh, what the Jake brake actually does is cut fuel to the cylinders to where they're actually dragging.
You're right. Creates a vacuum instead of pressure.
So it slows the RPMs.
Yeah.
And keeps the vehicle from accelerating.
Right.
So,
but I would imagine you've got to have a proper transmission if you've got an engine that has a Jake brake, because even that the gravitational pull on the differential and the drive shaft would make that tranny want to run fast, even if the engine wasn't.
Yeah.
So if you're using a Jake brake, I've never driven a vehicle with a Jake brake. Do you have to put it in neutral or something?
No.
Nope.
You got to have a manual transmission. Doesn't work. They don't work too good with automatics.
No, they work with automatics.
Yeah.
Most of the new stuff does.
Oh, okay.
You cannot find a diesel semi-truck anymore with a manual transmission. Everything's 15 speed automatics now.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the big rigs.
Especially the big rigs.
Well, they're going to be self-driving pretty soon, and they don't want the computers to have to worry about a clutch. We're smarter than the computers where a clutch is concerned.
Yeah, well, we've got the actual physical ability to use one.
And now everybody knows why we don't design trucks for a living.
Oh, now my daddy used to say that if GM could use their diesel patent
for good instead of evil,
for a tractor instead of for big trucks, they would wipe out at least 3 different tractor manufacturing companies, one of which was Ford, which he bought, even though he was staunch GM all his life, worked at a Chevy plant in Detroit. So,
I've always
for him
wondered,
to buy a Ford, that's a really big concession that GM needs to build a damn tractor.
I've always wondered why tractor trailer manufacturers haven't gone electric, or at least hybrid.
Some are going that way right now.
I think the only one I know of for certain is Volvo. They're coming out with an electric one here soon.
Tesla's got one they've got 3 trucks now with over 1 million miles on each one of them, and they've never crossed the Rockies.
Well, yeah, wouldn't that be a test though?
Yep. They're
just sitting at the bottom of the Rockies going.
No, they won't come across. They can't
and the battery goes. Boop, boop.
Legally, they can't come across the Rockies
because that's where Skynet is headquartered.
Now, don't start now.
It's part of DOT rules. They're still in the prototype phase, and they just can't. They can't.
They might be able to go uphill just fine.
Well, they
don't
might
want them
be
in
able to get a waiver now from Pete Buttigieg.
They don't want them in Colorado because what happens when a self-driving truck starts smoking marijuana?
Hey, even New York now. New York cabbies are already bad enough. Can you imagine a New York cabbie now?
Hey,
instead of patchouli, you'll be smelling.
No.
Is naturally.
Think about it. Jamaican taxi drivers in New York. Come on.
No worries, man.
Come on.
No worries, man.
Patchouli you've been smelling.
Well, the problem is the cabbies would never get anywhere on time because they think they're doing 10,000 miles an hour and they're barely breaking 10.
You've obviously never been in a cab in New York.
Yeah.
Or anywhere.
You have obviously never drove with anybody high on marijuana either.
You probably have. Just don't know it.
Yeah, you just don't know it.
Yeah.
I know it.
No, trust me. Hey, one of the best businesses to own in New York City is a brake place.
Yeah, because even though they don't have hills, they ride the brake.
Stoplights. Yeah.
They ride the brake.
And some place that replaces horns because those things wear out.
Well, it was kind of weird because when I first moved to the Tennessee Valley in '91, I had never put a set of brakes on a vehicle. I mean, in Louisiana, flatland, brakes will last the lifetime of the vehicle. So first time I ever had to pay for a brake job was when I moved here, and it was like, man, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. first time I had to change the brakes on the van, they had lasted me 7 years.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, I know. Usually the life of a set of brakes on anything in Georgia is 2.5, maybe 3 years at the outside.
Yeah.
And I'm going, well, I don't use them that much. Slow down. What's that? No, I use cruise control to make sure that I don't get a speeding ticket. So I'll click it on in a comfortable zone there where I know it's too much hassle to pull me over for that. But
Captain Dan flying on 4-wheel.
Yeah, really low flying. But it's one of those things where if you can be stealth, somebody else is going to get the blue lights.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try and remain stealthy at all times.
I always throw rabbits out in front of me.
Rabbits?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I call a guy that wants to run 85 to 90 miles an hour.
Oh, okay. Idiots. Gotcha.
I'll let them go.
Decoys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way, when I'm running, I let them run 85, 90. That way, I can run 75, 80, and them not.
If you want to really stick them, right as they pass you, if you see a cop in distance, slow down real quick so that it looks like he's doing about 40 miles an hour faster than you are.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is I'll be going and I'll set the cruise control for like 3 miles over the posted limit. I'm not interested in getting there in a hurry. I'm interested in getting there alive. So
yeah, at our age.
Yeah. My biggest threat is when I see a couple of transfer trucks and they're, nose to tail, and I know one of them's going to change lanes just as I get within 30 yards of it.
Yeah.
And that, sure enough, they'll ease on over in the passing lane and drop their speed by 20 miles an hour. Why? I imagine it's got something to do with physics that I do not understand, but why does changing lanes automatically slow you down?
Well, if you're the one in front, changing lanes means that guy was on your ass and you didn't want to be going that fast. So you're going to pull over,
let him go
the speed that you wanted to do, and let him go about his business.
No, it's the one passing that slows down.
It's called drafting.
Oh.
It's called drafting. When he gets out behind that other truck, he just hit a wall of air that he's got
It shouldn't be that much of a difference at 65 miles an hour.
Actually, the size of the truck.
Oh, the weight of the cargo. Speed. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, now it makes more sense.
And
my brother taught me to get within 15 or 20 feet of a semi on the highway, and it would save you 20% on gas.
And
I learned that was because of the drafting. The big truck, the wind is coming around the truck and then curling around behind it. So if you're in the sweet spot behind a truck and you're in the draft, then he's helping pull you along. He's cutting the wind so you don't have to. Okay? And that's the same way that NASCAR drivers do, except they have to get a lot closer.
Yeah.
To benefit from drafting.
You got to get within inches.
Lewis, you have felt this before going down the freeway when a truck comes past you in the camper or that other.
Oh yeah.
You think? I mean, you're sitting there going straight, and all of a sudden you just made a right turn.
Yeah.
I mean, you're actually having to turn left to keep it in the lane.
Yeah.
And
it was worse when I was pulling a trailer.
Yeah.
It would hit the trailer, and that's the tail wagging the dog then.
Yeah.
It's bad enough in the Class C, but when I was pulling a trailer, the trailer would catch that wind, but the car wouldn't. So, you know,
It got all
if I didn't have
squirrely on
sway
you.
bars,
Yeah.
what, Dan?
It got all squirrely on you.
It got definitely squirrely on me. But, you know, the first time it happened, I put on some sway bars, and that helped solve that problem. But, whew.
Of course, you also learned not to pack too much behind the back axle too, didn't you?
Yep, I learned to front load it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Put more weight on that hitch side.
Yeah. And I don't even pull a trailer that often. But I have driven a dump truck, so same principle.
Yeah.
Put everything up next to the cab, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to increase your tongue weight too much, but you definitely want to have more weight in front of the axle than behind.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I've seen situations to where the dang trailer will take off and yank the car completely around, running backwards.
Yeah.
Well, I have seen twice where the lock to the ball on the trailer hitch had worn a little bit, and too much weight and too much squirreling around popped it right off, and you're very glad you got them chains, because that thing was going to go off on its own.
Yeah.
You might be throwing sparks, but at least you're not getting passed by your own trailer.
I've never personally seen it, but I've seen the videos of guys where it breaks loose and the trailer turns around and passes them.
That's what I'm saying.
And then the guys have to actually get around, get in front of it, get over, and start using their vehicle to push it off the road and hope nobody's in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I saw just a couple of weeks ago where a family was saved by those chains because the tow vehicle went off a bridge and the travel trailer stayed on the bridge, but the hitch came undone, but those two safety chains were all that was holding that truck from falling 100 feet into the gorge.
And you know, the welding on that trailer with those chains had to have been amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was not manufactured on a Monday at 7 o'clock or a Friday,
at 5.
Yeah, just before quitting time.
Hey guys, I was going through some like I said, I'm straightening up my office a little bit, going through some boxes.
I'll be right back.
Found this old picture of me when I first started working at Channel 12, man. It was still News Center 12 then, not News 12.
That was your age too, wasn't it? 12?
No, believe it or not, let's see. I was 31.
Oh, man.
31 years old there.
You don't look like you're old enough to have a driver's license in that photo.
I know.
I'll be right back.
All right. Oh, yeah, yeah. I got some horror stories for trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Well, I'll bet because you used to rehab them, so you were probably towing them when they were in bad shape.
Oh, there was one I called Enterprise. The only reason I bought it was because the serial number was 1701.
Wow.
So, I went and got it, and I was just praying the floor held up long enough to get it home. Because it's those trailers are almost like a unibody. The body sits on plywood, and then the plywood bolts to the frame.
Okay.
And the plywood was rotted in 3 corners.
Wow.
Yeah. That was fun coming down 75. But do you remember the family that was killed up on the ridge cut from a trailer that broke loose? This would be early 90s.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the early 90s, I was mostly in the outlying counties. I didn't stay in Hamilton County much.
Okay. And, they couldn't, they never found out who the trailer belonged to, where it came from. Never found out who it was. It was a construction trailer.
Oh.
I pulled that trailer for 5 years at the city.
Wow.
The city just commandeered it.
Huh. Oh, so after the accident.
After the accident.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wasn't haunted?
Yes, it was.
I
hated pulling that thing. It should have never been built, to be honest with you.
Some bad juju on that thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Carl said his family had a trailer. Never again. But, tomorrow is the 7th anniversary of my injury.
The what anniversary? The 7th?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Joe
I guess it has been that long.
Will be celebrating by jumping a motorcycle over the Grand Canyon.
Oh, no, I'll tell you, this cold weather and the rain coming, I've spent most of the week in bed.
I think that was another part of my brother's back injury. Crappy weather.
Of course, I did wake up and, to see the foggy explosion.
The hint of an explosion.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why in God's name? They will cancel a launch for a dragonfly on the site, but they launched in weather you couldn't see 20 feet ahead of you?
Yeah.
That was dumb.
Yeah.
Even if the fog didn't cause the accident, part of the whole thing is not only the telemetry, but actually physically seeing what the spacecraft is doing.
Yes.
And comparing that and verifying the telemetry. And if you can't see the spacecraft for the entire flight, then it's not very helpful.
The craft.
And I'm not a rocket scientist.
The craft self-terminated. It self-terminated. They didn't hit the button.
But it was still an RUD.
Yeah. It
was unscheduled.
Yeah. SpaceX says they did not activate the FTS, the flight termination system.
Dan's got a green chair. Oh, you sly dog, you. You sly dog, you. You got a green chair.
Find me another yard of material. Keep up with
Actually, it's 2 square yards, but it's a remnant. It's not. It's not the like the drapes that I'm using for the green screen are 1 yard by 2, and I've got 3 of those for the green screen. And before when I just had the one, I had gotten this other piece that was about the same price. It was the same size, but it's more of a square than a rectangle. And I thought, I don't need it now. Let's see. So the chair gets hit.
This is a fleece material that I got at Walmart, and for some reason, one edge of it was tattered. The whatever they'd run it through, tried to cut the edge off, and it didn't quite fall off or something like that.
Dull blade.
Yeah.
And I've got this little piece of it that was hanging on the edge.
It's magic string.
What I thought about doing was gluing this to a chopstick and putting my little Enterprise micro machines and doing a little Enterprise show, like puppet type thing.
Yeah, they actually have something like a microfiber fleece blanket bundle of Kelly green material at Walmart, and I'm going, you make yourself a cloak and a hood and a mask with that. You'd be sitting here, and all of a sudden the beer starts floating up in midair. Oh,
Of course, I like what Queen Elizabeth used to wear, that green dress.
oh yeah. Until people decided that they could put anything on that dress.
My favorite one is somebody put an Iron Maiden T-shirt on her.
Hey, ain't no telling.
Oh,
I'm sure she liked Freddie Mercury.
She still wears it. I think she wears it now just to see what they're
Who puts what on there?
Put a Starfleet uniform on her.
They have.
Yes.
Oh, you missed it, John. I said I was cleaning out my office and I found an old picture of me when I first arrived to town. That's my first employee photo at Channel 12. Guess how old I was?
12.
That's what Dan guessed. 31 years old, man. Look at that baby face, huh?
And you didn't get into comedy?
And this was just 10 years later. That was my reporter headshot.
Now that looks like a high school yearbook photo there.
Well, I would have been 37 by this time.
That looks like he should be pledging to Animal House. I mean,
Delta Tau Chi.
Delta Chi Chi, yeah.
Yep, pay attention to him. He's pre-med. I thought that was pre-law. Same thing.
Whatever.
Same thing.
Believe it or not, I saw that today. It was on AMC.
Believe it or not, they almost filmed it at University of Georgia.
Yeah.
While I was there.
Oh, wow.
That would have been fun.
Well, that was the first movie I ever saw in the Navy. I was still in Norfolk waiting to transfer. I was going to catch a flight to Europe. Yep, there she is.
Oh, it didn't do anything. I was curious to see if putting it up here, I guess I had to put it on my background.
Yeah. No.
Would the universe get sucked into a green dress if I put it up as my green screen background?
No, what you need to do is print it off and hold it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let me try this. Where did I put that picture?
Yeah, because
see, it's got to come through your camera for the green screen to work.
Yeah.
And putting her as your background won't do any good because look at Snoopy's helmet. It's green. If it were going to key out for her, it would be keying out for him.
Yeah, but it's a darker green too.
And it's close enough. Trust me.
Be that exact.
Yeah.
You
would, if you had an actual photo big enough that we could see. Yeah, it would key and held the physical photo up. It would key up.
Yeah.
Photo going through the camera would.
It's got to go through the camera for the green screen to work.
Yeah.
See, told you.
Okay.
This is my industry. I know what I see.
Snakes crawl.
Lewis has forgot more about video than I'll ever learn.
I'm still trying to figure out how to get started with OBS. I fire it up and it makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Well, I wish I could help you, but I've not used OBS because I've got, other.
Well, it's not intuitive, I guess, is my complaint. And a lot of things that I use have to be intuitive because I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
Oh, don't sell yourself short. It's just that it's a technology that you're not familiar with or deal with every day.
I think it's
well, I will tell you
made for people that understand the basics of the program before you ever see it.
Yeah. In high school, I sucked at algebra just because it was all theory. Okay. Join the military, start dealing with explosives, and you actually, you know why P is P and C is C and all that sort of stuff like that.
Yeah, it makes a lot of difference when you know your ass could get blown up.
That too.
But if you clip the wrong wire, it's no longer your problem, so there's no need to be nervous.
Now that you just hit a point, and this is I've asked John this before, but I'm gonna say it again. You see these movies to where they're having to pull these. You got this big stack of C4, and they got detonators all poked into it.
Yeah.
Can you not pull that detonator out of the block of C4?
And then the C4 doesn't blow up. The detonator will, but the C4 won't.
Yeah.
Pull the detonator out of the block of C4, hand it to somebody, pull another.
No, because nobody's going to take it. Not if they know it's a detonator.
No, the big block of C4.
While it's not going to go boom, it will take a handoff.
It will go bang.
You can pull the C4 off the detonator, but being the devious person that I am, if I were a terrorist building a bomb like that, I'd put another one inside the C4 that when you pull the blasting cap you can see out, it would detonate the one inside.
Remind me not to piss him off.
Yes.
I think that way too.
We were talking about that as engineers. Everyone's talking about all these booby traps that they've seen in Iraq. We were talking about stuff they haven't seen yet.
Well, I mean, it's hard to stay a step ahead of a terrorist. You've got to think like that. That's scary. That really
and they
is.
also have this. They also have this other bad habit, and I'll use the Pepsi can as the example. If you look up IEDs in any of military class, you can look it up on Google or something like that. If you look up IEDs, they'll always show this Pepsi can that someone's turned into a hand grenade.
Mm-hmm.
And you light it. Look, it's a big firecracker.
Yeah.
They put the shrapnel inside. They put the explosives in the middle, and they put a fuse on top. You light it, and you throw it, and it looks like somebody's throwing a can at a military vehicle until it explodes. And every IED class you went to had one of these as number one. This is an IED. It's like, okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And the problem was nobody's ever actually seen one. Nobody's ever actually seen one used that I can find. There's a picture, but our guess was that somebody in special forces pulled this out of the improvised munitions handbook and built one and put the picture up there, and everybody's been using that same damn picture.
Yeah.
And it's never actually been used in theater, right? But they say that's a simple IED, and then they show the more complex ones. And they point out that what they'll do is they'll use one, and when we figure out a way to avoid it, they'll switch to something else.
Mm-hmm.
It's just this constant A, B, A,
it's an arms race, except instead of nukes, it's IEDs.
But the problem is, eventually, when they get you worrying about all these high-tech ones, they'll go back to the simple ones thinking that you've forgotten about them.
Yeah.
So there's, you're already up here working on L and M, and they're going back to A.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, of course, we came up with better ones than they did.
Well, we get more resources.
Maybe. I don't know. It's the part of Iraq we were in, everybody around there was like farmers. And if you know anything about farmers, they don't throw anything away. They figure out a way to use it. They'll weld something to something, and they've got a new plow, that sort of thing.
Yep. Done that several times.
And the area we were in was an Air Force base. Well, it's kind of funny. After Saddam's government fell, all these farmers went in scavenging stuff off this Air Force base because there was nobody there. And so you'll be like in a farmer's field, and he'll have they figured out a way to turn a reserve fuel tank into a brush burner that they can drag behind those big drop tanks they put underneath aircraft.
Uh-huh.
They've turned one into a brush burner that they can drag across the field, dripping gasoline behind it so that they can burn brush.
Yeah.
Wow.
To de-weed the field.
To get rid of all that nasty tumbleweed stuff they got over there.
Yeah, that way you don't get any weed seed mixed in with your grain.
And it's kind of funny because it's this long, thin thing. It rolls slightly as they drag it across the field, dripping gasoline and stuff as they go. And somebody was like, my guys wanted to confiscate it because they thought it was a bomb, and I'm like, no, it's just a reserve fuel tank. It's just a glorified 55-gallon drum.
Uh-huh. And as you drag it across, if it actually is rigged up to roll, you get the sprinkler effect because centrifugal forces throwing it out the little
I don't
holes.
think it was actually rigged up to roll. It just kind of did that.
Hey, ain't no telling. Farmers, I don't care what country you're from, they're going to think of something.
There was I can't remember what it was. It was something that you bought at the store, and I'm not sure if it's fuel oil or cooking oil, but it came in this 30-gallon square tin.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You've seen the gas can. Yeah, we've got them 5 gallons. Well, they buy this stuff. It's about 30 gallons. It's metric. I can't remember what it is, but it's about the size of a 30-gallon can. They buy them. It's rectangular shaped. It's about 14 inches square, and then 2 feet tall. There is a guy over there that made a fishing boat out of these.
Oh, Lord.
Prettiest thing you ever seen. He did a wooden frame, and then had all these tin
pontoon
cans
boats
wrapped
made out
around
of
the bottom.
55-gallon drums.
And it was like an aluminum fishing boat, but it was made out of these steel cans. And
you know that aerosol styrofoam foam that they use for insulation?
Mm-hmm.
Fill up your empty cans with that. You never have to worry about them taking water.
We're sitting out there, and I'm like,
that would get a little expensive though if it was any kind of size.
Yeah.
Well, they got that stuff now that you can buy it. They actually have machines that spray that stuff in houses for insulation.
Yeah.
And you have the big
my attic actually has that.
Yeah. And
of course, you can buy that foam in those bigger, I don't know, 5-gallon can or whatever it comes in.
Yeah. And matter of fact, for people that are actually doing entire houses like that, it would come in a truck.
Oh,
like cement.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got a hose there and a nozzle and a trigger. You fill up the wall, and you take something that used to be an 1800s woodworking tool, but nowadays it's just a razor blade with the handles on the side, and you slash it down the surface of the studs, and it cuts it off evenly.
Yeah. That's the problem with houses today. They don't breathe anymore. That's why a new house won't last longer than an older house. They don't breathe.
Yeah, well,
they're so airtight.
My grandmother's house was insulated with shredded newspaper for about 50 years. And there was some defective blowing insulation. Something had happened that prevented it from being coated with the silicone waterproofing spray that we use on the stuff. And they had to throw it away. They couldn't sell it. So they gave everybody in the factory 100 bags of this stuff. And each bag would cover approximately 120 to 140 square feet, 10 inches deep. So
wow.
I gave my mom and dad 50 of them, and dad took the other 50 and put it in his mom's house.
Well, I saw one of these home renovation shows one time, and they were tearing out a wall, and the guy was looking at the plaster, and he says, "Come here, look at this," and they had mixed horsehair in with the plaster to help strengthen it and keep it up on the wall. And I thought that was very inventive. It was an old farmhouse. It was old country farmhouse, but where you brush a horse and you get all that loose hair, they would just save that up and mix it in with the plaster. It was crazy.
2 or 3 horses worth of brushing them down, and you'd have enough to knit another horse.
Yeah.
If only they had Siberian Huskies back then.
But Lewis, have you heard of the fiber mesh concrete? they mix fiberglass into concrete. It's the same.
Same principle, but it was a natural product.
Yeah. They've got a version that they use the concrete, and they cut it with styrofoam pellets. Not the big peanuts, but little bitty BB size pellets. And the stuff it's like.
Sounds like it would give a building osteoporosis, though.
Actually, the concrete is not much reduced in strength, but the insulation value goes up. A foot thick of this stuff is like R100 value.
Golly.
Yeah. Your normal 6-inch exterior wall, they put R19, maybe R25 in. Double layer of that comes out to R100, and it's concrete. There's one company in Texas that sells plans and comes out and sprays the stuff over what's basically a balloon for garages and things, or sprays it on the inside where it has rebar and things to reinforce it. And there was a normal house construction site uphill of the concrete house, and there was a severe storm. A bulldozer came out of gear, rolled down the hill, hit the concrete house, and scuffed the paint. I'm going, hey, now these things are, they advertise them as being hurricane proof. Unless it floods, ain't no wind getting inside. Nothing will damage it. Matter of fact, if you design it right, it will damn near stand up to a nuclear bomb.
Well, they got blocks now, foam blocks that they lay foundations with that stack like Legos.
Yeah.
And then you fill it with concrete.
And the ones that are made with, they make the regular concrete blocks with, the hollow 8x10, or is it 8x12? But they make them with the styrofoam pellets mixed in, and you just take a handsaw and you can cut anything to fit anywhere in seconds. Yeah.
Plus, it's fireproof.
Styrofoam is not fireproof.
That concrete usually is.
Yeah, the concrete, yeah, but the little styrofoam pellets are little individual fireballs waiting to go off. That's one reason why fiberglass insulation hasn't been replaced with styrofoam exclusively yet, because styrofoam burns real quick.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Yep. The fiberglass doesn't burn, it evaporates. Fiberglass fibers in a fire. If you've ever seen a trailer park that somebody has caught a trailer on fire, it's like 7 minutes. That entire trailer is gone.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's left is the siding. The glass itself, you can watch it. It just goes, turns into smoke. It's
Joe
wild.
Joe said that quote from Apocalypse.
Any fuel to the fire.
Joe did that quote from Apocalypse Now just now.
Yeah.
I can remember when Attack of the Clones first came out, the Star Wars movie, and all the Jedi were trapped in the arena, and a bunch of them had been killed and stuff like that, and Yoda comes in with the clone troopers to save them. And all I could think of is seeing Yoda standing in the door of that assault craft, doing all the Colonel Kurtz lines from Apocalypse Now. The smell of napalm I do love in the morning.
But you got to hear Wagner in the background too.
Valkyries, they ride, yes.
Scares the shit out of the kooks.
You got Samuel L. Jackson standing there going, "Charlie, surf."
I've got to play something real quick because I'm still in my
adolescence.
I'm in my still under my correctional phase right now with a certain media platform.
He's still in Facebook jail.
Yeah. Here's my opinion of that.
I'm sorry, sweetie. Honey Badger doesn't give a shit.
Love Betty White.
Yeah, well, we do have a workaround, so.
And we are broadcasting in 1080, fabulous 1080p on YouTube exclusively.
Oh, really? Are there any doctors out there? Because I was really worried about. Never mind.
At least you weren't worried about that hemorrhoid.
Hey, but I've got an otoscope now. It doesn't just go in the ear.
Yes,
check your nose hairs, check your sinuses. You know,
we're not reenacting that scene from Max Headroom.
Oh.
Yes, and somebody asked me how they could watch this show tonight, and I was dumb enough to give them the link.
Oh.
Hey, Nick, how you doing tonight? Oh, he's been here.
Yeah.
I normally have this thing full screen, so I don't often see the comments until
they pop
somebody
up.
posts one.
Yeah, Carl, weird. That's what we're good for.
Yeah, it's stupid o'clock.
That's what we do.
You never know what we're going to talk about.
If a conversation can degrade,
yeah,
we will degrade it.
Hey, I've got video of my ear. You know, I mean,
no, that's fine. We're good.
That was a little gross.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I've seen much worse in biology class.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just let everybody's own imagination. We don't want to corrupt that horrifying image with something worse.
And knowing this crowd, we could make it worse so very easily.
And Lewis, I will say it's about time to go visit the earwax.
The Earwax Museum, yes. They
No,
have
Lewis
a
said
marvelous
his
sculpture
ears-
of the Venus de Milo, but it's yellow.
Lewis says he gets his ears whacked. Lewis, it's time to go back.
Oh yeah. Well, they don't do the inside, so I had to get the old nose hair trimmers after it. Yeah, it's better now. I've trimmed them since that video was taken.
Why is it when men get hair, they get old, their head starts losing hair, but their ears start growing it from the inside? It's like
eventually it crawls down your back and sits on your butt, and that way you don't have to worry about cold toilet seats.
I don't have to worry about cold toilet seats now. I've got a wooden one. Talk about a step backwards into the future. I remember the wooden ones that I wouldn't sit on when I was a kid.
Oh, yes.
A wooden toilet seat? Yeah, I wouldn't touch it. No respect, I tell you, and no respect at all.
Tough room.
No, when you were telling a story earlier, Dan, you would I think you were fighting a burp or something. Man, you sounded just like Foster Brooks.
Oh, I can do that.
Remember Foster Brooks?
Oh, vividly, yes.
God, he was funny. And the funniest thing is, he was a teetotaler.
Yeah.
He did not drink.
It was entirely an act.
Yeah.
And he was so good at it because he observed everyone around him that was in the Dean Martin circle of friends.
Yeah. And Dean Martin really didn't drink as much as he let on.
Oh no. In all of his shows, everything that was televised, when he had a drink in his hand, that was either uniced tea or apple juice.
Yep. Something that had an amber color but wasn't alcoholic.
Yep. He actually went to an upstairs bedroom in his own house and called the police on a party his wife was throwing so he could get all the guests run out of the house and he could go to bed. He didn't like being at big parties.
My wife and I have always
I don't
had.
know if his wife ever found out about that, but
my wife and I have always debated who had the better voice. Was it Dean Martin or Frank Sinatra? To me, it was Dean Martin, hands down. Frank Sinatra was good at what he did, but Dean Martin, the quality of his voice, I always felt was better.
Well, have y'all seen the Dean Martin Foster Brooks thing where Foster Brooks was the airline pilot?
Oh, yeah.
oh,
That's
dude,
a classic bit
that
from the
when
Dean
it-
Martin show.
when it was in first run.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to sit and watch Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis in their black and white variety show back in the day. I mean, this was before Dean got the girls in the background with all the 60s stuff. I guess wouldn't have been in the 70s. 70s was the roasts. So this was late 50s stuff that I was watching.
Hey, look who we got.
Uh-oh, we're in trouble now.
Oh, Blake!
Yep.
Long
What is
time no
up?
see.
You are well trimmed and looking handsome there, dude.
Yes, and the proud owner of one of these. Portable record player.
Oh,
Now, is it one of the ones? Does it have the USB port?
No, just the out. It's one of the older Victrola ones. So
I saw one at a store in Atlanta. It's pretty cool. You can play records on it, but it would convert it to MP3, and you can plug it in your computer and store
I've
the
seen
records.
those. Those are awesome.
I got one right over. I got one right over here.
Yeah, on the after show, I got show and tell then because I
Well-
now own a whole collection. Like
Joe
just-
doesn't want to do an after show because he has to get up early.
Yeah, we got to be at the doctor's at 8 o'clock in the morning.
That is pretty early.
I'm trying to figure out why that eliminates John from being able to end the after show.
Because it's on Joe's account, and he doesn't want to lose YouTube as well as Facebook.
I've heard stories.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
Dean
fine.
Martin,
We'll
yeah.
just stay here and have show and tell after.
yeah, you can just stay here and y'all can talk all night.
Oh, we just don't have to broadcast the after
True.
show.
Yeah.
A private after show. We'll bring on the dancing girls.
Those were fun.
Stupid After Dark.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness. So how goes it, Blake?
it's been doing pretty well. We've been working our butts off at FedEx, so same old, same old. I have
You
Taco
finally
Bell
got
waiting
caught
on
up?
me here in a minute. Sir?
Y'all finally got caught up?
Yeah, finally took 2.5, 3 weeks.
So
From the
you
snow.
you're finally caught up
Snow.
for winter of 2019, right?
Pretty much it feels that way.
John,
Yeah.
Yes.
memory lane.
Oh my goodness. I know exactly what that is.
Those are MRE Tabasco sauces.
Yeah, buddy.
2 or 3 drops
Always
is all you need.
And just so you know, they will fit inside an AK-47 magazine. You can store about 20 of them.
Duly noted.
Hey,
And then you can
Yeah.
keep the magazine in the magazine pouch. So you got
If-
Tabasco
if
sauce wherever you need it.
Just don't try to fire it.
Oh,
If-
man.
if you
This
could
food
fit
tastes
a
like
solid
shit.
propellant
Here.
charge underneath each one. And somebody gets splashed with Tabasco at the other end.
Hey, I've been shot
That
with
would be
rock salt
rude.
before, so
Mm-hmm.
that burnt.
You
pretty
were a
bad,
naughty
too.
boy.
Yes, I
What
was.
did you do? What did you do to get hit with rock salt?
A friend, well, I've told you all the story that they used to park trains behind my house when I lived in New Orleans, and the cabooses would be there too. And a friend of mine and I would go in the cabooses to see if there was anything interesting.
Yeah.
And occasionally we would find a tool,
Or
and we would
something of a literary nature.
and we would 5-finger discount it. Well, apparently the train company got the railroad got tired of losing stuff, so they had somebody up in the crow's nest of the caboose
The cupola.
waiting for us one night, and we got in that caboose, and he jumped out of that loft and racked one in, It was probably a 20 gauge. I mean, it wasn't 12. A 12 gauge would have hurt me a lot worse.
Yeah.
But I went out one door, my friend went out the other, and the son of a bitch followed me, and he shot me in the ass with the damn rock salt. He had taken all the buckshot out and put rock salt in the shell.
That's what you have to do if you don't want to murder anybody.
Oh, that burned. Oh, it burned so bad. And that's not, I'm like 13, 14 years old. That's not the kind of injury you can go home and tell mom, what do I do about this? And she'll say, how did you get that? And that's a conversation I did not want to have.
Yeah, and in my family, Daddy would pull off his belt and say, "You ain't built nothing yet."
My dad was long gone by then, but my mom, she had kitchen spoons that would leave a mark that.
with my mom, it was a fly swatter.
Oh, back in the day, you could leave a mark and nobody'd say a damn word.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, if you talk about it, you go to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, kids don't get leather therapy anymore.
Mm-mm.
Oh, leather. Have your grandmother send you out to cut a switch.
Go cut me a switch. You better bring back a big bundle so she can choose.
Yep. You got to get at least 3.
Better not bring back some flimsy thing. Woof! Don't.
All right, I'm having
PTSD
now.
I know I never did it again.
Well,
Whatever
John's
it was.
old enough. John's old enough. Dan probably not. Well, maybe Dan is. Blake, I don't think so. Maybe you too, Lewis.
What?
3 words, and you will start rubbing the backs of your thighs. Hot Wheels track.
Oh yeah, you can
Yes,
smack
I
one
had
of
a Hot
those.
Wheels.
Yeah.
Get about 8 of them rubber bands together in a little stack, and I've felt the wrath of Hot Wheels.
Mm-hmm.
They don't call them Hot Wheels for nothing.
That was definitely after my time. It was either a switch, a fly swatter, or leather therapy.
Wooden
Yeah.
spoons.
Yeah.
Wooden spoons. My mom's got a couple of them.
When you just say Hot Wheels tracks, you can see people twinge.
Believe me, Daddy's belt hurt a lot less than Granny's alternative. And then you got the lecture afterwards, which was even worse.
Yeah, you got talked to about why you required that action. Yep.
Yes. And if you do it again, I'll do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Only harder. Sorry, I'm not a masochist, so I avoided those actions in the future. Actually, instead of avoiding the things that earned me the whipping in the first place, I learned not to get caught.
Yeah.
I'm can't believe I have this giant collection. Like, this is going to be an interesting ride for you all.
What?
Oh, I ended up getting part of someone's LP collection from eBay.
Oh,
And yeah, only a small part, and it's the part that I actually enjoy the most. And it's like the stories and the Whistler and the Shadow and stuff like that.
oh wow, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But this isn't one. But this is amazing.
Billie Holiday.
Last recordings. Yeah,
Bless you, son. If you have not heard that yet, you are in for it.
I'm in for a treat.
A world of pleasure.
Yeah.
She was amazing.
Yep. I'm a big fan of the older stuff, so I want to hear the last set of recordings. So it's brand new pressing, but still the good stuff.
Hey,
So.
It might actually wind up benefiting from being a brand new pressing.
Oh,
It might have been remastered.
Did y'all see that thing I posted that on the Voyager pressing, the Voyager gold record?
Mm-hmm.
I saw it. I wasn't stupid enough to click on something you post on April Fool's Day.
That's why I haven't been on the internet today.
I've been on the internet all day, but I haven't clicked on anything that looked The slightest bit shady.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for tomorrow.
And everything Joe Dog posts is shady as hell.
Yeah.
No, Scott Manley, the guy that one of the YouTube rocket people has found a hidden message from Carl Sagan on the gold record.
And now you're gonna play it for us.
No, you just gotta watch it.
I'll never see it.
You gotta watch his video.
Don't trust you.
I am not a fan of what
trust you as far as I can throw you.
Oh, Carl.
Carl, please, man.
You know, Joe Dog. Why? That's like giving the keys to your 57 Chevy to some teenage kid. Oh, wait a minute. Dad did that.
Let me guess. He got rickrolled.
I'm not.
Yep, that's it.
Strangely enough, I was driving my brother to the emergency room yesterday.
Never gonna give you up.
And just as we're pulling in the emergency room, the Rick Astley song came on the radio. and my brother, who's over there in pain, we're hitting Fort Oglethorpe, we're hitting potholes and everything. And I was, I can't believe we're going to the emergency room and I'm getting rickrolled.
It is a message from Carl Sagan.
Yeah, and the message is basically a middle finger. Now, what I want is for the aliens that intercept the record to come back and go, stop sending us nudes and the location of your house.
Yep.
These are unsolicited.
Now, what they'll do is they'll come back and say, okay, if you quit sending us Rick Astley, we'll quit talking about your extended car warranty.
It's actually aliens. I can see that being a thing.
Yeah, really. The warranty on your planet is about to expire.
Maybe car is secretly alien for planet.
All the internet scams and hoaxes to gather money from people are actually aliens trying to build up a stock portfolio here on Earth before they invade.
There's an intergalactic spaceway coming through and your planet must be destroyed. Sorry.
That seems to be a theme in science fiction.
I never thought of Marvin the Martian in that particular role before.
Well, I mean, he was the advanced guy. He was that guy that T-Dot sends out to say, "Oh, we're going to need to take these houses out," and then they send the lawyers out. But yeah, Marvin Martian was the advanced guy for the intergalactic speedway.
Well, you brought that up. That reminded me. Today is 2 years since that bridge collapse.
Yeah, I saw in my memories today. Yeah. The 75 on ramp.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Change.
Yeah. If you go through,
and at the time they said they didn't know of any injuries, and that guy was hurt bad.
Oh yeah.
Now here's the thing: if you go through there now, everything you see that's been done has been done in under 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it took a year to plan it.
Yes.
Actually, I-24-75 interchange has been done in just over a year, and it's almost finished.
Yeah.
And they're still working on 27.
North of Knoxville, they managed to save money on that kind of thing. They just put up a sign saying, "Speed up, you got this." And everybody goes, "Okay, those Duke boys were in a little bit of trouble."
Yes, some good old boy.
But Luke, Nick says he was tasked with making announcements for Al's grocery store in South Haven. We here at Al want you to know we'll never give you up, let you down, turn around, or desert you.
What if we wanted dessert?
And I guarantee, just as soon as Nick did that, his boss came up and said,
"Yo,
Dan,
Did you kick Blake out?
No, Blake kicked himself out, and Dan just.
I'm eating foods.
Oh, okay.
All right. Oh. Well, guys, we made it an hour and a half.
Wow, that flew by.
Yep.
Wasn't painful at all.
Oh, here's one I'll throw up. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Oh, yeah, I've got the new information, and before Saturday, that'll be corrected.
Yeah. But, yeah, we're just going to read off, what shows are on what days. Networks and available platforms are changing, so... But Stupid O'Clock and the Armchair Rocket Science are proud members of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Our program schedules are Sunday nights at 10 o'clock. Comics, Chaos, and Sass with Heather Ellen. Never Mind the Furthermore is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. on Brian Morris's channels. Tuesday is Clever Title Pending at 8 p.m. on Brian Morris's channel. TED Talks on Ted Davies Artistry on his, I believe, Facebook and YouTube page. Thursday, Ted has TED Talks Watches at 11 a.m. Creative as Hell and Brian Morris's comic book. I can't remember the name of his comic book show. If y'all can help me out, throw that up into the chat. We got that. Then Stupid O'Clock comes on at 9 p.m. Oh, Comic Book Spectrum, thank you. And Never Mind the Furthermore is again on Friday. But the big thing is Nick Talkert's Historical Fencing Guild.
Yay!
You have to tune in to Historical Fencing Guild because you never know what will attack Nick during the show that he has to defend himself.
Might even be his own house.
His own house attacked him last show. And then Saturday night at 11 o'clock is the Stupid O'Clock. And that show is close to his... Excuse me. I'm so excited I get choked up here. That's as close to as uncensored as you can get on YouTube without getting banned. So let's pull that back down and bring everybody back up. There's Dan.
Yes, I'm sorry, but Lindsay fixed a chili and a baked potato for my lunch today at work, and y'all almost got Joe Dogs, but I cut the microphone off just in time. That was not a Rickroll, that was Rolling Thunder.
And all that black stuff on Dan's green screen isn't actually a matrix background. That's just what came out, and I killed the green screen.
Very strategic.
No. Which is funny because methane is invisible. Why is it brown?
I've been around Joe Dog. I'm pretty sure that methane is not invisible. I'm pretty sure it has a greenish brown tint.
It's a green glow.
Kind of like gaseous chemlight.
Gaseous clay, okay.
Yeah, keep it up, John, and I'm going to sucker bomb you.
He's not going to leave the room.
Let me put it to you this way. Between the two of us, I know that I can eat boiled eggs and drink dark beer.
Bring on the boiled eggs. Guinness is ready. Actually, deviled eggs.
The worst one, the worst beer that I've found for gas, Michelob Amberbach.
What, does it keep fermenting as it goes on down?
I don't know, but I mean,
it never stops fermenting.
It smells like something that's been left at a dry cleaners for a couple of years, and it's just got that chemical kind of rotten smell to it.
There's a German brand that has all kinds of sediment in the bottom.
Well, let me ask you this: have you ever had a building cleared for a sewer leak?
Well, let's just say I've never cleared a building for what people thought was a sewer leak. Yeah. Don't stand so close to a fire alarm. Or those carbon monoxide detectors.
Joe will never stand in front of a fireplace ever again. That's what really hurt his. That's what really hurt his back. The methane explosion.
I'll just put it to you this way: I have been into a recreation of the Blazing Saddles scene.
You are a recreation of the Blazing Saddles scene. You can do every part yourself solo. Oh.
I've always wanted to try Scotch eggs, Nick.
They don't have Scotch in them. I'll tell you that right now. They do not have Scotch in them.
Neither does Scotch State.
You may need Scotch after the eggs, but
Really?
Just saying.
Or duct tape.
No ducks and duct tape.
Hey, don't disillusion me. Next thing you know, you'll tell me there's not actually any gorillas in Gorilla Glue.
You know, I've actually had
horses.
And there's no Girl Scouts in Girl Scout cookies.
Now I'm not going to ever buy any more.
Next year is the same year that Soylent Green supposedly took place. So Girl Scout cookies are going to be a little bit suspicious next year, especially because they come in a green box.
Well, I mean, they're selling stuff called Soylent Green.
I've had the mint one that is kind of green, so it's actually tastes like burning wood, but it's supposed to be all your vitamins and minerals and everything.
It's all somebody's vitamins and minerals.
Like, I've been threatening to do it for like 6 weeks to see if I can lose any weight. So
now this smells like burning wood, but have any of y'all tried this yet? The Outlaw solid cologne?
But now I know why they don't sell Burning Man candles.
Ooh, man, just the second that I had it open it smells like campfire, gunpowder, and leather.
Ooh,
here's
manly
something.
Smell.
This is something Lewis and John, I know, can understand. Have you ever noticed a campfire smells so good while you're right there by it, but if you smell your clothes the next day,
you're like, what happened? It's like, yeah. Yep.
It's a good active aroma, but a bad residual smell.
Yeah.
And that's
kind
probably
of like sex. It's really good when it's going on, but afterwards,
you're like it's like, did I make that smell?
I'm just sitting here going, did you make that joke?
Well, I've been sort of fussed at for making for hitting the nitrous during sex, but
you got some explaining to do, Lucy. Mm-hmm. Sometimes faster isn't better.
I don't think he means nitrous like in dragsters. I think he means like in lapping gas.
Yeah, she didn't find it funny at all.
This isn't the green room. I can't say that. But I'm thinking it really loud. Oh.
Carly says, "Me too, Dan. Me too."
Yeah, Carly and I had a long talk a couple of weeks ago after the green room supposedly ended, and I think we have similar senses of humor, or at least complementary. They kind of Agatha heterodyne on each other, so I don't believe I perpetrated that pun.
Carly says, "Save it for tomorrow night, Dan." Yeah, save it for tomorrow night because I can't join in.
Yes, dear.
I'm banned from joining the green room on a fake account.
How do you manage that, Joe?
Damned if I know. But I can live stream on the fake account. I just can't go to a green room on the fake account.
I really don't understand how that works, but
Yes.
and it was nothing that you did. It was something that happened while you were out of the room that YouTube did on its own.
Oh, it's Facebook.
No, I mean, YouTube played the extra video and somebody on Facebook complained. Or a bot on Facebook complained.
Complained that I played a public domain live stream.
No, I guess if they can't make money off of it, they can be piss poor about it. So.
Well, no, somebody had to report it, or at least a bot had to notice it. I still haven't made up my mind which it was. I mean, I know people that would have reported anything, no matter how innocent, for
I can't go live.
Just inconvenience other people. For how another 16 days?
Yep.
You know, they missed a trick by not having a jail door over the.
Yeah, you would think that they would do that.
I mean, I want to know what I can't even speak to anybody to find out what I did
because
wrong.
it's only robots. Yeah.
Yeah, they keep talking about hiring tens of thousands of people. Where are these people, and are they near a phone?
Or a computer?
You guys are nerds.
Who uses telephone?
Oh, you've got that too. I don't have it in vinyl. I've got it digital, but
it was part of that collection that the guy gave away, and I thought it was pretty neat.
He didn't give you any Frank Zappa albums, did he?
No, this is all like stories and stuff, like like radio plays and serials and stuff like that. Some classical, but yeah. Oh,
no, Nick. I don't think Joe Dog out Green Room the Green Room. I think that YouTube played something on autoplay after Joe Dog had left the room for bodily functions, and there were unfortunate repercussions about whatever it was, and I know what it was that got played.
What?
The documentary on the Oklahoma City thing.
No. I've replayed the video. No, that was already cut off before we got a strike. NASA was still up and running.
That's some crap.
That is weird as all get out.
And they don't want to talk to me about it. So I've been buying Facebook stock.
Eventually, you'll have enough to go, bye-bye, Zucker.
Mm-hmm.
I've been buying Facebook stock. Then I'm going to actually go through and say, I need to speak with, I am a stockholder. I want to speak to somebody. I need 3 shares. I'm at a share and a half right now.
Excuse my curiosity, but how much is the price per share?
Well, I'll tell you. Give me just about.
Alexa, what's the current trading rate for Facebook stock?
Here's something I found on the web. According to 247walls.com, analysts rate Facebook as strong buy. 24/7 Wall Street Facebook shares recently sold for $119 in a 52-week range of $72 to $120.79.
About $120 a share.
No, it's at $2.99 a share. Closing today.
Alexa's stupid, and she's downplaying Facebook's worth.
Yeah, it's up 1.65% today.
Well, you hold on to them 3 shares, and when you're retirement age, I know you're medically retired now, but you're not old enough to officially retire. It'll be worth. How about that?
Yeah, I just went to my check.
The company I work for is trying to get all the employees to buy shares in the company. They did this once before in the 90s.
Yeah, 298.66.
As soon as the shares actually appreciated in value, they did some tricky stock market stuff and took everything away from everybody at pennies on the dollar per share.
Now, somebody gave me $5 worth of Bitcoin back in January. It's now worth $9.75.
That's not bad.
For imaginary money?
Yeah.
Well, you know, the guy who bought the pizza is like kicking every door and slamming every car door that he can because he gave away something like $416 million for a pizza. So, yeah.
I didn't hear that.
Like they gave the guy bought a couple of large pizzas with a ton of Bitcoin when it first came out. Because who knew? It was like Dogecoin and all the other stuff that's happening right now. And now it's worth like over $416 million. Hopefully that pizza company still has that wallet because they're secret millionaires and they just don't know it yet.
Oh, I'm sure they know it. That's why their service is crappy. We got your money now.
And if anybody wants $5 of Bitcoin, just give me a holler. I'll give them $5 of Bitcoin. All I'm going to do is just buy it and hold on to it.
Mm-hmm. See where the ride goes.
Well, yeah, that's about the best thing you could do with stuff like that. At one time, we had, back in grade school, an exercise training us in a history class as to the value of the stock market. Don't ask me what that's got to do with history because I don't know. But we were supposed to pick a random stock from the New York Stock Exchange and watch it for the rest of the school year and report as to its ups and downs and what it was worth when we first picked it out, as if we had bought shares, and what it was worth at the end of the school year.
And now Dan has done it for the rest of his life.
No. Because the one I picked out was Pacific Gas and Electric, and it ain't worth shit. It never was. And they're apparently they're a very terrible company with a bad reputation now. So,
houses around LA are blowing up left and right.
Well, the only reason I picked it was because it was the name of a band from the 60s that did some pop 40 hit. And I can't even remember the name of the song now.
Well, you know, the group Chicago is actually the Chicago Transit Authority.
Yeah. But actually, I just recently found out the rest of the guys are still performing while Peter Cetera stole the name and went to doing sappy love songs and kicked out the brass section. The brass section is still out there performing these days.
Wait, Peter Cetera is using Chicago?
Yep. Yeah. Started when MTV came along. He kicked out the brass.
That's long since changed.
Well, I
Peter
hope
Cetera
so.
is not even doing anything anymore.
Well, there are certain epithets I could say if we weren't live, but things that I wish he was doing. But never to get a job had to do with numbers. Oh, Curly, you're a bookkeeper. All right. Well, you're looking at a dyslexic that uses Excel spreadsheets to do algebra. So,
you know, I had a friend of mine who was a charter member of DAM, Mothers Against Dyslexia.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
That's one of those jokes that you'll get later.
Oh, I got it right then. Matter of fact, I had the alternative going through my head, which was Drunks Against Mad Mothers, which is a anti-child abuse group.
Apparently, in an interview in 2019, Cetera said he was done with music, but they're still
Because he
having
sucked.
they're still
Except
having
for
the
his
prospect
voice.
of a reunion with Chicago.
Not if they're smart. He screwed him over once for MTV videos of him thumping around on a bass guitar and singing love songs. Believe me, Chicago will always be the brand section for me.
Didn't they become the Tower of Power, or were they for somebody else?
Tower
No,
of Power
Tower
was
of
something
Power was-
totally different.
Yeah, that was Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Well, it was
Tower Power.
Motown. It was Motown in general. I think it was
Yeah.
a whole bunch of bands allied together.
Yeah,
And
kind of like the Swampers were.
Yeah. Their studio musicians would get together and do backup for everybody.
Kind of like Here Come the Mummies.
Yeah, that's where I was about to go. That sounds like Here Come the Mummies.
Yeah, Here Come the Mummies are a bunch of Nashville studio musicians who are, I guess, they're under contract with somebody.
Yeah, with
else.
different labels.
So they have to cover their faces when they perform in public. So they adopted this mummy motif, so nobody can identify the actual players. But they're good. Most of their stuff's kind of raunchy for me, but you know.
Kinda raunchy.
All right.
Tower Power.
Are y'all familiar with the?
Otis
Go ahead,
Redding.
John. Go ahead,
What,
John.
John?
Tower Power's horn section has collaborated with Otis Redding, Aaron Neville, Aerosmith, Bonnie Raitt, David Sanborn, Eric Clapton, Elton John, LaBelle, Huey Lewis, Little Feat, Hart, Michelle Chant, Paula Abdul, Santana, and Stevie Nicks.
So everybody but Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Let me see. They've also got.
There are
If
only
I'm
two
wrong,
names
I'm
on this I
wrong.
didn't recognize. Are y'all familiar with the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain?
That is very niche, so no.
Okay, it's April Fool's Day.
No. They're really good. There's somebody else that has a ukulele orchestra with a similar name that's trying to cash in on the original's fame. And you don't.
April Fools.
No, it's not April Fool. They do covers of various people's songs. They did a really, really good one of a couple of David Bowie songs. They've done Wuthering Heights by, now that I'm trying to say her name, I can't say it, Kate Bush?
Yeah.
Okay. And they've done all kinds of other stuff, The Who, all kinds of other stuff. And it's all performed on 4-stringed instruments. Ukuleles mostly, although they did have an acoustic bass guitar, and it's fantastic. Look it up on YouTube. But there is a copycat group that's trying to horn in on the recognition of the original ukulele orchestra. And no, this is not an April Fool. I don't pull that crap. Otherwise, I'd be claiming Lindsay's having a baby or something. So, you know.
Well, the whole idea behind a prank is that it should be at least plausible.
Well,
I don't have the
Dan's gonna kick
access
my ass
anymore.
when we meet.
no, I'm just sitting here going, This isn't the green room. I can't say.
Hey, Dan.
I was
Yes,
reading
dear.
something today that got posted by the Washington Post about how they're going to put, was it $8 billion or something like that into they're doing the infrastructure bill.
$2 trillion.
And they're putting so much into railroad infrastructure, which should give Amtrak this huge boost. And
Yeah.
which they've had all these high-speed rail ideas around the country for years, and I don't know if they can.
Since the 60s.
And apparently, this might be the thing.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those measured plans with like the 5 major routes and using bullet trains. Hey, Chicago's 2 hours away kind of deal.
There's that one they've been talking about recently about Nashville to Atlanta.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll stop here in Chattanooga.
Yeah, that's been a talk at least for the past 10 years now.
Well, the thing is with those, the more stops you add in, the slower the train has to go.
No,
You can go high speed and slow down a mile before the stop.
Yeah.
it works. Yeah, it works well in Germany.
Yeah. Oh, I rode the Eurail from Wolfsburg to Berlin, and man, it was like no time. I barely had time to edit because I had Wi-Fi. Barely had time to edit a 2-minute package on there.
The ones in Germany,
those,
you can look out and let the
railroads do
helicopter
not
go
run
by.
with
backwards.
U.S. bureaucrats in charge. You'd wind up with a
This is true.
35-mile-an-hour high-speed train stopping every 50 feet.
They were talking something about the one here in Chattanooga. They're talking about putting the station out by the airport.
Well, yeah, that would make sense because that way you could park at the airport and take the train to a bigger airport.
Yeah.
We've got a bus
real
stop
airport
here in Athens.
That's why they're doing that big parking.
You buy a ticket on the bus. The bus takes you to the Atlanta airport. You go right through customs. Because you got on the bus, you go through customs in Athens. So when you get to Atlanta, you're already through. You're right in. You're right
I'm
into
surprised Athens has a customs office
in the bus station. It's one of those special deals. You can actually do that at the Athens Bennett Airport, which is kind of tiny. But if you take an air taxi from Athens to Atlanta, you go through customs, have your baggage checked at the Athens Airport. You no longer have to have your baggage checked at Atlanta.
That would cut down a lot of the congestion at the airport.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a teeny tiny plane, but still, half an hour to Atlanta instead of 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Plus, you cut out all the security theater from Atlanta Airport's little division of the Homeland Security.
Okay. April Fool's Day joke going on here.
Oh.
Yeah, it just came up on my Facebook, and I want to share it with you guys. Apparently, Disney is buying Dungeons and Dragons.
How is that physically possible?
Well, technically, Wizards of the Coast owns the Dungeons and Dragons material now. So if they sold out to Disney, there's talks about it. I think there's a new Dungeons and Dragons movie in the works right now. They're actually
it's in early production.
And so that I could kind of see that, but yeah, today was the wrong day to post that.
So anytime I open one of my old monster manuals, I'm going to have to pay Disney a fee.
No, but if you buy a new monster manual, they'll get a cut.
Yeah.
And have
Screw them, I've got it in fees.
Of course, if Disney makes a Dungeons and Dragons movie, you have any idea how many Dungeons and Dragons players could sue them for copyright? Because they copied my character. Here's my character sheet. See, that's my character right there.
There's probably some sort of perpetuity
It was
thing.
registered in 1970.
Hey, guess what?
Why do I get the feeling you wait the entire show in anticipation of playing?
Hovering the button.
Just Edie, just let me touch one button.
Oh, but yeah, we've had a great show tonight. I want to thank all y'all for being here. I appreciate it.
Yay.
I say this every week, but I mean it. I mean, can you imagine how boring it would be for me sitting here 2 hours trying to talk to myself?
Oh, I've seen Armchair Rocket Science.
There's science. Yeah, we've seen it.
I used to do a podcast I was by myself, so I totally understand.
Sorry, Joe. I'm sorry.
I still love you.
Hey, it's the damn truth. It's not wrong.
Heather trying to get a word in edgewise like you were skunk.
Hey,
You could create a show based on Dan's music watching paint dry. Wow, that one fell.
All of us just sit here quietly contemplating everybody's blue screen backgrounds.
Except mine.
I was trying to read what Carly was.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
I'm not touching that line, Carly. I think you didn't think that one through.
Talk about burns. Wow.
I don't know which one of them got burned worse by that one.
Yeah.
Nope. Like,
Good night, everybody.
That's all, folks.
Yeah,
there should have been an earth-shattering kaboom right about then.
Where was the earth-shattering kaboom?
You do that too well.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Hey, I've had years of practice, man. Marvin Martian was one of my faves.
It was
mine mine too. What, Joe?
Mine too.
Oh, good.
Why don't they do a Warner? Now that Disney owns all that stuff, they need to do a Warner Brothers Star Wars thing.
No.
Oh, wow.
No, they don't.
They don't own Warner's yet.
No, yet.
They own all the Warner Brother characters, don't they?
No. No.
They own all
Not
Fox.
Disney.
Doesn't Viacom own Warner Brothers now?
They own Marvel,
Marvel.
not Warner Brothers.
I just when they bought up Bugs Bunny.
Oh, no.
Yeah, when Disney buys
Warner Brothers is Time, CNN, that whole conglomerate.
Oh, AT&T owns Warner Brothers, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, once Disney buys Warner Brothers, then they'll own DC.
And then it's over.
Yep.
There'll be a whole new version of crossovers after that.
Yep. I can't wait to see the Hulk fight Superman.
And Mickey Mouse wins.
Hey, and I finally watched Endgame and didn't realize that Hulk was Bruce Hulk now.
Right.
Yeah.
That's weird.
They don't actually touch on it. That happened after he came back from Warworld.
Yeah, that was between Infinity Wars and Endgame.
Thor Ragnarok.
Well, yeah, it was after Ragnarok, but that has always been a possibility and occasionally happened before in the comics, but not regularly in the movie.
Good night, man.
It's time to say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
That's all, folks.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see y'all Saturday
Sleep
night.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds, and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.